Hello Coffeeholics, welcome back. In part 1 of this series, we established that we can use powdered milk to make iced brown sugar shaken espresso using instant coffee. This way, you can cut your costs and you can sell this drink for a cheaper price. Today's recipes will be using powdered milk. Now you can use any brand of choice. Typically, powdered milk would be cheaper than evaporated milk or fresh milk. And then we are going to use two options for brown sugar. We're going to use granulated brown sugar like this one, and another option is making use of a brown sugar syrup, which you can also make homemade using, of course, the Chao recipe. And for the instant coffee, I am going to use a brand here, which is just Nescafe. Really, you can use any brand of your choice. And we're going to make 3 different ways using 22 ounces cups. One, of course, is using a shaker, and another one is using a milk frother. First, let's prepare our powdered milk. According to the packaging, we need 300 grams of the milk powder to 700 ml of hot water. I'm going to make only half that proportion, so I'm going to use 150 grams of this powder to 350 ml of hot water. Mix them well, and let's set it aside for later. Let's start with method number 1, using granulated sugar and a shaker. 1 full tablespoon of my instant coffee, 2 level tablespoons of brown sugar, water. Now this is room temperature water so that your coffee will not turn out to be bitter. Ice. Not to fill your cup to the top with ice. Stir. And now we are going to shake this. Okay? And this is our shaken espresso using instant coffee. For the milk, I am going to use 90 to 100 ml of milk. Pour it over ice. And finish it off with the brown sugar shaken espresso. For the second method, we are going to use exactly the same ingredients, but we are going to use the milk frother. 1 tablespoon of my instant coffee, so 1 granulated brown sugar, 2 tablespoons room temperature water here, and we're going to froth using my electric milk frother. (100 ml of my dissolved powdered milk. For the ice, just fill your cup about halfway full. Pour the milk over and finish it off with the brown sugar shaken espresso. Now look at how thick the texture of this one is, so it would help to use a spoon. And this is now our iced brown sugar shaken espresso using a milk frother and powdered milk. For the final method, I am going to use the same ingredients, but instead of using brown sugar, this time I'm going to use my homemade brown sugar syrup. The same amount of instant coffee, 1 tablespoon there, and then use the same amount of water, which is 60 ml. And then I'm going to use the milk frother to froth. And now to assemble the drink. Fill your cup with ice. Pour the brown sugar syrup along the sides of your cup to create that cascading effect. Now this is where I made a very big mistake. So I have put the brown sugar shaken espresso before the milk, but that's okay. I am going to remedy it. So now pour your milk over and just cover up the milk using the remaining brown sugar shaken espresso. And this is now my brown sugar shaken espresso using brown sugar syrup. 3 different drinks using the same recipes but different methods. That's typical of my channel. I don't give you one option, I give you a few options to choose from. This one is using a shaker. What happens here is that the top somehow becomes very airy, that foam there is quite airy. So when you use the shaker, I suggest that you shave off the top, but it gives you that beautiful cascading shaken espresso in your cup. Now this is the one using the milk frother. Until this time, the foam is still very creamy, very smooth. At the beginning there were 2 layers, but now the shaken espresso is cascading downward like a lava. It looks really gorgeous. And the final one is using the milk frother as well. So the top is also very, very smooth, very creamy. Now there's got a lot of layers there because I used the brown sugar syrup instead of granulated sugar. Here, the brown sugar somehow settles at the bottom, and but it's giving me that really dark look. So if you look here, this is a lot darker and probably tempting. But I would say all 3 of them look absolutely gorgeous. If I have to make a choice which one was the easiest way to make, I would go with this one, using the milk frother. Wow, it tastes like ice cream. That really tastes good. The milk is, it doesn't really make it any less good. I'd say it's not bad at all. Now this is the one using the milk frother, and after I mix the ingredients, I still get that dalgona top, very creamy, very foamy here, and still very smooth. Somehow I could taste the milk here. It's good, it's not very bad, but if I compare it with this one tastes absolutely delicious. Both of these taste very similar, but this one is my favorite. Do try this with the brown sugar syrup rather than granulated brown sugar. And if you haven't yet seen my video tutorial on how to make brown sugar syrup, do check out the link above. Okay, now to give you a summary, how does each one of them compare? In terms of the look, I would say they all look absolutely gorgeous. So you can use any of the method depending on which one is the easiest for you. If you think that the shaker is easier for you, use the shaker, especially if you don't have an electric milk frother. You will note that when I use an electric milk frother, you get that foam very quickly. If you use a battery operated one, I cannot guarantee you will get that soft, creamy texture like what I got here today. And the last one is using a brown sugar syrup. Now again, it really depends on what's available to you. If you have brown sugar granulated, then you can use that because the taste is absolutely smashing. Very smooth, very creamy, and you can taste the brown sugar balancing that of the bitterness of the coffee. And with this one, with the brown sugar syrup, because the brown sugar syrup also gives you that strong flavor of the brown sugar, it just somehow enhances the taste of the coffee. And for some, it might taste even stronger and more bitter. But it is a matter of preference. For me, I prefer this one. But if you'd like to be smooth and milder, then you can use this method. That's all I would like to share with you today. If you have any questions, do let me know. Another way of making iced brown sugar shaken espresso the Starbucks way without using an espresso machine, instant coffee and powdered milk. If you're planning to start a business, this is definitely an option. Iced brown sugar shaken espresso is taking the internet by storm, and I'm not surprised, they taste absolutely delicious. Don't forget to check out my books, All Things Milk Tea and The Basic Barista. Details on how to order in the description box below. If you haven't yet subscribed to this channel, make sure you click that subscribe button below because I publish all things coffee and milk tea on this channel. You can start a business, you can make your own drinks at home, and I'm sure that your friends and family will appreciate these. In the meantime, stay safe, stay tuned. Thank you for watching. Ciao for now.